Welcome to Windchime Storytime.
I'm David.
And I'm Reese.
Today we are reading The Magical Calming Tree by Liana Wall.
Let's meet the fairies as they learn something new about the tree they live in, Evermore.
During the days that passed in Enchandream, the fairies always loved to keep busy and help others. Being creative with happy thoughts made their time in Enchandream so special. From time to time, they would know and hear about the humans in the other world by the change of weather. Twinkle, with her power of truth, always knew when a child was being untrue, as the skies above would fill with rain clouds, which matched the magical teardrop that her power used to let the fairies see the humans. Twinkle loved her power very much, as she had always had a way to help the humans and to be able to see them through the water droplets of her tears. Twinkle thought all the humans were so wonderful, if only they could be true always. One evening, after a honey supper, Selena and the fairies were at the Evermore tree, where they could see into the human world. For some reason on this wondrous night, the Evermore tree was very sad. When asked why, the tree shone an image of the human world, with lots of children worrying and in some distress.
"Why are the humans like this, Mother?"
said Sparkle. "I'm not sure," she replied. As they continued watching, Twinkle could hear in the faint distance the voices of the humans. They were worried about their world. The children were concerned about their schools and their mummies and daddies and being poorly.
"They're all so terribly worried,"
said Twinkle. More and more children began to sit alone on their beds or at tables resting their heads on their hands. One little child was in bed, lying on their back, staring up at the ceiling, unable to sleep at all, their eyes wide open when they should be calm, peaceful, ready to drift off. Selena looked in confusion at the image in the Evermore tree and called upon the wise owl. He immediately flew from the top of the treetops to greet Selena and her daughters. "Your Highness," he said whilst bowing his head. "My dear friend," said Selena, "we have noticed in the human world that things are not right. What is happening, and how can we help?" The wise owl replied, "The humans are facing an unfortunate time at the moment. Things are changing, and a lot of worries fill the minds of our dear children." The fairies all gasped and looked at each other in a panic.
"What can we do?"
said Glow.
"We must help right away."
"There's not much right now that you can do, dear Glow," said the wise owl. "The only magic you can offer them at the moment is the chance to let the worry go away from their hearts and away from their thoughts." Selena nodded, thanked the wise owl, and the image in the Evermore tree faded away.
"Mother, how can we use our powers to help with the worry?"
asked Glitter. "Come with me," said Selena, as she lifted her wings and started to fly off from the Evermore tree branch into Enchandream Wood. The fairies all followed one by one. In a flashing line through the starry sky, all the fairies followed Selena. They passed the Rivers of Wonders, the Pixie Cave, the Grumpy Troll's Bridge, and came to a place that appeared darker than the usual kingdom's bright, shining colors. As Selena flew lower to the ground, the fairies saw many trees that didn't have any leaves on them, just brown branches and sticks. The trees seemed to form a tunnel-like shape as they canopied over the fairies. As they glided underneath, the trees lit up with an electric blue luminosity, outlining every branch and trunk. It looked so dreamlike and mystical. Selena looked back at her daughters and smiled. "This way," she said, as the fairies looked amazed at where their mother was taking them. Fluttering through the tunnel of gleaming blue empty trees, they passed through the last one and they saw a wide open meadow. An area of just flat land. Nothing else was there for miles, except the shining heavens of the stars above. This is where we will help the humans, said Selina. The fairies looked confused, as there was nothing here to be seen. We are going to plant a magical calming tree, said Selina.
A magical calming tree?
Said Tinsel.
What is that?
Selina responded. It is a worry tree, and it will be here to help the humans' thoughts and feelings as the leaves fall from the tree. That will be their worry disappearing.
Is that why the trees here have no leaves, Mother?
Asked Glow. Yes, the worries have all faded away. The fairies smiled at each other. And watched as their mother began to sing the spell of the calming tree. Tonight will make a difference. Tonight, your mind is free. Tonight, we plant the secret seed of the magic calming tree. Repeat with me, princesses, whispered Selina to them. As they all sang and their wings glimmered in their unique colors, purple, turquoise, red, silver, and yellow.
Tonight will make a difference. Tonight, your mind is free. Tonight, we plant the secret seed of the magical calming tree.
Their wings then faded. Nothing seemed to happen.
Nothing is happening,
said Sparkle. Just believe and you shall achieve, said Selina slowly, as she started to make her way back through the tunnel of trees with no leaves. The fairies followed, disappointed as nothing magical had appeared for them. However, Selina smiled all the way back to the willow tree as her daughters flew behind. Selina was happy because she knew the difference they were about to make for the humans with their calming tree. The next evening, Selina made her way up to the princess's bedroom and saw them all writing stories in their little leaf books. It's time, said Selina.
For the magical calming tree?
Said Twinkle. Yes, replied Selina. Are you ready? The fairies put down their writing books, put on their little pink shoes, and followed Selina into the night sky. They passed the river, the pixies, and the grumpy troll. They then arrived back at the tunnel of empty trees. As they all fluttered again to the end of the tunnel, they saw that everything looked the same as before. Nothing new was there.
Where is the magical calming tree?
Said Tinsel in a sorrowful voice. Are you ready? Asked Selina. Selina took out a handful of white glimmering fairy dust and blew it into the air. Suddenly a little rumble began underneath their little toes, and before their eyes something began to grow out of the ground in front of them, with the illuminating fairy dust circling around it. As the fairy dust circled faster, a tree began to rise, larger and larger until it stood tall, with hundreds of leaves. The tree was magnificent.
Wow!
The fairies all murmured in amazement. The tree was a shimmering blue, with pure white leaves, and underneath the night sky it looked like a gigantic shining star itself. The leaves all gleamed and the branches shone sensationally.
The magical calming tree,
whispered Glitter in amazement as she approached the tree first. Now, princesses, said Selina, remember, this tree holds the worry of every human in the world that has a concern or fear. We need each leaf to fall so that the discomfort will no longer be with them. We must help them with the calming tree. As she spoke, Selina saw one of the leaves flutter like it was about to fall. She spread her wings and sang the spell of comfort. All is calm, all is well. Relax your thoughts with this peaceful spell. Relax your mind, at rest you lay. The comfort tree will fade all your worries away. The little leaf shook its last tiny shake and fell from the comfort tree. As it fell slowly and gracefully to the floor, below it vanished and disappeared.
Does this mean a human's worry has faded away?
said Twinkle. Yes, said Selena. Now we must prepare the spell to help and encourage the humans to find peace in their world. Keep the spell in your thoughts, princesses, and the humans will hear it. As they all said goodbye to the worry tree and turned to fly back to the Willow Palace, another leaf began to flutter and fall, vanishing before them. One day this tree will join the other calming trees, said Selena. The worry needs to end so that the humans can live happily and in peace without any sadness. The fairies nodded, knowing this was to be a wonderful thing for the humans in the other world. As they flew back to Enchantree Kingdom, they would continue to repeat this spell in their minds with all their might to make sure each leaf would fall and each worry would continue to always fade away.
Thanks for listening to Windchime Storytime.
Have a pleasant day.
And the next adventure's on the way.
Bye.
Bye.